Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're tuning in today because we're unpacking something that literally defines our modern digital culture. You know, if you've ever found yourself wondering exactly how the biggest digital creators out there manage to cut through all that noise, build these massive audiences, and turn their content into highly optimized businesses, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're putting together a definitive, data-backed playbook for decoding the modern digital video landscape. We're pulling from recent scientific papers, platform histories, and some really advanced algorithm audits to figure out the exact strategies shaping the creator economy right now. So let's jump right in.
Right off the bat, we need to frame the sheer scale of the battlefield here. 500. That's the number of hours of video content uploaded to YouTube every single minute. I mean, just take a second to really wrap your head around that. Every 60 seconds, literally while you're pouring yourself a cup of coffee, another 500 hours of content hits the platform. It's just this endless, churning sea of media. And honestly, standing out in an environment like that, it's not just about having a fancy camera or a fun personality anymore. No, it requires an incredibly calculated, scientific approach to audience psychology and algorithmic architecture.
So here's our 6-part playbook for today. We'll be looking at the massive landscape, the hybrid strategy, the discovery hook, deep conversion, creative fatigue, and finally, algorithmic auditing.
All right, part 1, the massive landscape. So it all starts right here with the basic definition of a YouTuber, a content creator who uploads or creates short or long-form videos on YouTube. But what's actually pretty wild is that this term has officially been floating around the English language since way back in 2006. It was even featured in that famous 2006 Time Person of the Year issue. So this isn't some brand new phenomenon, right? It's a maturing, incredibly complex industry that has evolved from this quirky hobbyist platform into a massive global economy generating billions in ad revenue.
And you know, that maturation, it was only really possible because of the underlying technology. Just take a look at this timeline. Back at launch in 2005, you actually needed an Adobe Flash Player plugin just to watch a single video on your computer. Crazy, right? Then, by 2010, the platform was experimenting with built-in HTML video, and by 2015, they finally made HTML and MPG- the default. Now, you might be asking, why does all this technical jargon matter to our playbook? Well, the shift to adaptive bitrate streaming, where the video quality automatically adjusts to your network speed without needing external plugins, that's exactly what laid the groundwork for today's dynamic, multi-format mobile viewing experience. It basically just removed all the friction.
Okay, moving on to part 2, the hybrid strategy. If you want to build a real monetizable digital footprint today, you absolutely cannot rely on just one format anymore. Recent scientific literature points to the absolute necessity of what we call a hybrid content strategy. Basically, this model uses 2 distinct tools. First up, you have short-form content, those snappy 15 to 60-second vertical clips. Their structural function is purely as a discovery tool. They are designed for instant audience engagement, acting as a quick emotional hook. But then, on the flip side, you have long-form content, videos running, say, 10 to 20 minutes. Their function is entirely different. They serve as your deep conversion tool.
Which brings us to part 3, the discovery hook.
Now, this data, pulled directly from a recent collection of scientific papers, is just fascinating. Take a look at the numbers here. Channels that utilize short-form vertical videos see subscriber growth speeds that are 30 to 70% faster than channels relying solely on long-form content. That's huge. Vertical videos absolutely dominate algorithmic recommendation systems because they command high user attention and minimal interface distraction. But, and there's always a but, right? There is a catch. Look at that second row. The conversion rate of short videos into actual dedicated subscribers is relatively low, capping it just around 5 to 10%. So shorts can definitely cast a massive net and get you rapid reach, but they really struggle to build deep, loyal relationships all on their own.
And that leads us right into part 4, deep conversion. So here's the really crucial point. Redirecting traffic from those viral short videos straight into your long-form content can increase your conversion to monetization by up to 20 to 50%. 50%! I mean, that is just massive. The shorts, they basically get people through the front door, right? But the long-form content is what actually convinces them to sit down, stay a while, and engage with the channel's core value proposition.
So what does effective long-form conversion content actually look like in practice? Well, the research points to highly structured formats, things like thematic analyses, practical guides, and Q&A sessions. These formats are specifically designed to create deeper audience engagement and increase your average watch time. Think about it. When viewers spend 10, maybe 20 minutes watching a really good practical guide, they build trust with that creator. And that trust algorithmically enhances the channel's overall visibility, ultimately transforming a casual swiper into a dedicated, monetizable audience member.
Next up, Part 5, Creative Fatigue.
Now we have to talk about the hidden cost of all this high-reach vertical video. Because short-form content relies on rapid dissemination and these instant emotional hooks, audiences get bored quickly. The novelty wears off incredibly fast. To combat this creative fatigue, researchers have identified the need for what they call systematic video material rotation strategies. Yeah, it sounds super academic, but simply put, it means creators must purposefully update their editing patterns, swap out their visual graphics, and restructure their plot units. Doing this routinely is literally the only mathematically proven way to maintain stable click-through rates, conversion rates, and viewing durations. You basically have to constantly reinvent the micro-elements of your presentation to keep people hooked.
And finally, Part 6, Algorithmic Auditing. So as creators have gotten better and better at finding those perfect emotional hooks to grab our attention, the platforms are actually actively pushing back. We're now seeing the deployment of advanced AI like large language models and vision AI specifically tasked with auditing creator content. These systems literally read titles and scan thumbnails to score them based on the engagement incentives they use. They are actively hunting for things like emotional bait to figure out if a creator is genuinely offering value or if they're just manipulating the audience's psychology to get a cheap click.
Honestly, the level of detail these algorithms look for is staggering. Just take a look at these exact audit rules derived from some recent studies on the kidfluencer ecosystem. The AI evaluates if a title contains roleplay or acting keywords. It knows that a video duration over 30 minutes combined with specific descriptions likely indicates long-form scripted content. But guys, it gets even deeper than that. An AI like GPT-4 can classify a title as emotional bait, while a vision AI cross-references the thumbnail to see if family keywords like vacation or birthday are being used organically or if they're just being exploited for views. The platform is actively, continuously judging the intent behind the packaging.
Which leaves us with this final, highly provocative question. As artificial intelligence increasingly audits and throttles our emotional hooks, and as audience fatigue demands constant, systematic rotation of our editing patterns, will the future of digital video strategy rely more on raw, unpredictable human creativity, or on cold, calculated algorithmic optimization? It's a really delicate balancing act, and mastering it is the true secret of the modern creator's playbook. I really hope this explainer gave you a powerful, structured lens through which to view the content you watch, and hey, maybe even the content you create yourself. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.